All right, hey everybody, it's David Kramer, the Critical Thinking Christian. Let me make sure I've got the right. All right, there we go. And today, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about Christianity, the Nazis, and the demonization of Jews. And if any of you ever read the New Testament, it is. Yes, they say Jesus came to the Jews because he wanted them to, believe in him and help bring in the kingdom. But the Jews rejected Jesus and essentially, they got the Romans to crucify him. But because of this rejection, God turned from them and decided to give it to the Gentiles, give that the gospel to the Gentiles, and have them bring the Jew in back into a relationship with God through believing in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. Where in the Hebrew scriptures, the Jews are the ones that are supposed to bring the world to Jesus, to the Gentiles, to God, to worship God. But throughout history, from the time the New Testament was written, the Jews have been, pretty much dealt a pretty bad hand by God. A God who claims to be omniscient and to know everything. And over history, the Jews have been demonized, abused, tortured, murdered, just because they're considered to be the Christ killers. In the New Testament, you have many verses that are, just demonize the Jews. In the Gospel of Matthew, you have a number of verses here, like 21:12-13, when Jesus went into the temple and cast out the money changers, people that were buying and selling, and those that were selling doves, and called it a den of thieves. And the thing about the temple back then is they did have money changers, because the Jews that were in other parts of the world would have different currency. And when they came into Jerusalem, they needed to change their currency into. Now, this is what I learned. I didn't bring anything up to prove this, but the money changers were there to change the money into what would be acceptable in the Jewish temple. So. But in, like I said, Matthew 21:12-13, they're considered to be a bunch of robbers and thieves. The scribes and Pharisees are always called hypocrites and vipers and ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? And the thing with the scribes and Pharisees is they knew the scriptures. And I'm not saying they were good people. Religious leaders, you can have, good ones, but, you also got your bad ones. But they knew the Hebrew scriptures, and if this Jesus actually did exist and claimed to be Messiah, they didn't see that. They were expecting a king to rule over them and to bring in a golden age. So going against Jesus and pretty much calling him a liar and a fraud, well, yeah, their scriptures would pretty much say that this is not your Messiah. Pilate, trying to avoid a turmoil, trying to avoid a riot, gave Jesus over to the Jews, and the Jews said, then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children. They cursed, essentially, That right there is, they were given over to the Jews, and then they pretty much said, hey, everybody, you can curse us, okay? Because let his blood be on us and our children. In other words, our entire race. Let it be on those who come, after us. That's fine with us. Now that right there, I would never say that if I'd be in a situation where, yeah, let my blood be on. If I had children, my children and their children and all that. That is a statement of, you know, it's, to me that's just another embellishment in the New Testament. Okay, the Gospel of John. Therefore the Jews sought no more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but also that God said God was his father, making himself equal with God. And in verse 8:44, you are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. So it just puts the Jew in a position of just being a horrible, bad, evil race. And it says, since the Holocaust, there have been countless attempts by both Jews and Christians to drain the venom from such verses, with particular emphasis on the fact that Jesus and the first Christians were themselves Jews. Okay, however, this is definitely not how the Nazis and Christian supporters interpreted the New Testament. Okay? Now, the Nazi exploitation of traditional Christian demonization of the Jew. Hitler and the Nazi Party were pagans. They believed in pagan religions. They wanted to bring back bring into a golden age of the Aryans, the Supermen, the blue-eyed, blonde-haired Supermen of the Nazis, and that's why they were doing a lot of genetic experiments on Jews. They wanted to find out how they can manipulate the genes and how they can manipulate, how they can make, trying to make a Superman. But Hitler and other Nazis made abundant use of the traditional Christian image of the Jew as a materialistic and diabolical Christ killer. One can argue that they often did so simply to win support for their essentially secular racist plan to eradicate the Jews of Europe. And Article 24 here of the Nazi Party program of 1920 endorsed what it called positive Christianity. It says, we demand freedom for all religious confessions in the state, insofar as they do not endanger its existence or conflict with the customs and moral sentiments of the Germanic race. The party, as such, represents a standpoint of positive Christianity, without tying itself to a particular confession. It fights a spirit of Jewish materialism within us and without us, and is convinced that a lasting recovery of our Volk can only take place from within on the basis of the principle public need comes before private greed. So there it is, the materialistic, greedy Jew. And I heard that from, my mom would talk about, the Jew, they got money and all that. And yeah, Jews do have money, and Jews work hard, and they, some are rich, but so are white people and black people and Asians and Hispanics, and within each race there's that percentage that are rich, wealthy, materialistic people. And not all of those people, you could say, have a love of the materialism or the money, but the Jew is always looked at as just how he loves the materialism and he loves the money, and he uses it to have power over other people because he's evil. After all, he murdered Christ. Okay, the notion of positive Christianity was intended to transcend Protestant Catholic tensions, and as well as demonstrate that the National Socialist movement should not be seen as hostile to Christianity, even though some of its most prominent leaders were. It's like I said, the Nazi Party was a pagan They believed the pagan mythology. They believed in pagan mythology. All right, and Hitler in Mein Kampf said, and he got this from Dietrich Eckhart, who was a mentor of and an anti-Semitic. And Eckhart, okay, he ended Mein Kampf with this statement. Christ stands never otherwise than erect, never otherwise than upright, eyes flashing in the midst of the creeping Jewish rabble. And the words fall like lashes of the whip. Your father is the devil, John 8:44. And in Christ, the embodiment of all manliness, we find all that we need. And there again. And here we have the way he sees Christ, okay, and the Jews. He goes, those who want to keep our Christianity, which alas today is merely a Christianity of appearances rather than one of deeds, have to confront those who rob us of our Christianity. We may be small, but a man once stood up in Galilee, and today his teachings dominate the world. I cannot imagine Christ but blonde and blue-eyed. The devil I can only imagine with the Jewish grimace. This sentiment led to the Holocaust. 6 million Jews died. And some will say, well, hey, Hitler took the Gospels, the New Testament, and he took it out of context, and he just went and did that because he wanted to do it on his own. Sure, I agree. But then again, the New Testament gave him lots of kindling to start that fire. And this God, who they claim inspired this Bible, this Jesus, who they claim existed and did what he did, are supposed to be omniscient. And just because this, what supposedly happened with Jesus and his ministry, his death, burial, and resurrection, God knew that these teachings and these writings would lead to how many thousands of years of persecution for the Jewish people. And the Nazis aren't the only one. The Catholic Church, Protestant Christians, such like John Calvin and Martin Luther, they were rabid anti-Semites. They hated the Jew because, well, boom, crucified Christ, murderers, Christ murderers. So, I just wanted to make this video to kind of point out the fact that, God could have done it. If this is true, God is a real piece of shit. Bringing about the Messiah and in a way that's not that it hit Jesus Messiah is different from the Hebrew Scriptures version of the Messiah. And if this here is God's plan to just, hey Jew, take a look, there's your Messiah, and they're like, that's not what our Scriptures, that's like I said, that's not what our Scriptures say. Oh, okay, you're rejecting me? Well, you just wait. Okay, oh hey, now you said the blood's on your head and the head of your children? You wait. I'm going to get you good. And he did. Protestants and Catholics murdered Jews just because of what was written in that book. And I think after the Holocaust, at one point, the Jews actually put God on trial. Now, too bad they couldn't have, imprisoned him in his own lake of fire for what he did. If this is indeed, if all of this is true, and if this God is true, that would have been nice. But, the big guy's insulated from all that. I mean, he can go out and he can murder people that he claims are his chosen people. And I was thinking of this too. It says in the Scriptures, in the New Testament, that I think Jesus said this. I don't know where it is exactly. I didn't look that up. But he said that the devil was a murderer from the beginning. Well, who do you think the devil learned that from? I mean, because God murdered a lot more people than the devil. And you take a look at Job, you see the devil asking God for permission to kill people. God's doing that by proxy. God's sending this guy out to murder them. Like David. Okay? He told Joab, put Uriah the Hittite in the front lines of the hottest part of the battle, so that he dies. You know? So God's, you know, you can say, oh, they just taking it out of context and they're doing what they want. God knew that. God is guilty as hell. And I think that's sad. I think it's sad that over all this 2,000 years, the Jews had to deal with that. And I'm not sticking up for like their government. Okay, their government does a lot of evil shit, but the people, you know. But I just wanted to bring this, just make this video on Christianity, the Nazis, and anti-Semitism. And I'm going to put the link to the article in the description, and you can read the whole article. And that'll be pretty much it for right now. And until next time, I'm David Kramer, the Critical Thinking Christian.